Would you like to see what this over 60 Brit with very mature skin bought in Sephora? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you all the products that I bought in Sephora on my holidays this summer in France, whether I liked them or not, and whether they suited my very mature over 60 skin. So let's start with foundations, and we'll start first with the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation, this one here. I'm in the shade 25N and I was matched by one of the Sephora sales assistants. I really like this foundation. I don't think it's exceptional, but I like it. It says it's a full coverage, but it doesn't particularly feel like that. Let me just swatch a bit for you there and let me rub it in. It's not too liquidy. It feels nice and creamy on the skin. I find it best applied with a foundation brush, but actually, to be honest, I'm applying all my foundations with a stippling brush, with a foundation brush, I'm applying all my foundations with a stippling motion and a foundation brush. So I'm basically just putting it on like this, just stippling it onto my skin. And I do find that that really helps it not to settle into fine lines and also give me a lightish coverage or as full a coverage as I need because it's buildable. But it's a really nice foundation. You can see how nice and smoothing it is on my skin here. And I really do like it. I mean, whether I would have bought it if I hadn't been to a Sephora, did I really want it or need it? Of course not. I've got about 15 foundations that I can use. But if you are in the market for a foundation I think it's fairly reasonably priced. I think it is a lovely, I would say medium to full coverage foundation, which as we come into autumn, winter is probably the sort of foundation that we might be wanting to wear. Now, the other foundation, which I was really excited to try because it was definitely out of my comfort zone, is the KVD Good Apple Balm foundation. And it's this one here. Now, I had never used a balm foundation, wasn't quite sure how to use it, started to use it with a dry sponge and then a damp sponge, both of which actually worked okay. But because my new method is stippling with my brush, I've been doing that and this is what I'm wearing on my skin today. And I think it works an absolute treat. And in fact, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put a little bit, let me just swatch a tiny bit for you first. There it is on my finger. And now I'm going to put it here and I'm just going to stipple it. Let me come closer so you can see how amazingly well this applies and gets into my skin to give it a really nice smooth appearance. Now look at that. Hasn't that gone in well? So actually what's really good is you don't need a lot of product, because when I started using the sponge, I was actually sticking the sponge in. In fact, I've almost hit pan there and sort of then applying it. But actually that isn't the way. You literally just dot a tiny bit and it is buildable, so you can build it up. Dot a tiny bit on your face, so maybe here, 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 here and here, and then get your brush and just stipple it in and it works an absolute treat. And I really love it. Again, it's like the Sephora in that I would say it's medium to full, although I think it sells itself as full. But as you can see, it hasn't really settled into my fine lines. I've had this on for a couple of hours. It wears extremely well. And although it's pricey, I just love the feel of it on my skin. There's something about a balm, and I've never used a balm foundation before, but there's something about a balm that I've really enjoyed using, and I highly recommend it for us mature skinned ladies. Now, the next two products I'm going to talk about are Charlotte Tilbury products, and one is definitely a fave and one is a bit not sure about. So the first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic palette in Pillow Talk, I think, this one. Now, I've used this a few times in videos since I got back from holiday actually, and I really love it and it's what I've got on today. Now it is actually, if you look at it, it is actually quite a dark colour. So I've rather liked it when I didn't really want to wear a blush and I didn't want to wear a bronzer. I wanted something that would kind of perform the same function. And I think that this blush, which it is a blush, really does. I suppose I bought it because I was a little bit tanned when I was in France and I thought, well, this is quite a nice dark colour. And actually, let me swatch a bit for you so you can see. I think that it works really well. In fact, it's almost like a blusher highlighter and bronzer in one. Can you see? So this is obviously quite light and this is much darker. And it's what I've got on today. And again, had it on for a couple of hours. I think it's worn very, very well. And it just gives a bit of definition and colour to my face, which is what we want. And I would say it's extremely long wearing, very good for mature skins, and I highly recommend it. So another Charlotte Tilbury product that I want to talk about, which I am not quite as impressed with, is the Pillow Talk Dreams Luxury Eye Palette. And it's this one here, if I can just open it. There it is there. Now the colours are categorised by, wait a minute, let me turn it upside down. This one is Prime, this one is Enhance, that one is Smoke, and this one is Super Pop. It's supposed to take you from day to night. So I suppose the idea is you put this on as your sort of transition shade. If you want to make your eyes pop, I would say, I wouldn't, well, that's Super Pop. I suppose this is not quite super, just pop. Followed by Smoke, I get that, and then followed by Super Pop if you're going to a disco or something. Which, at over 60, I'm probably not going to be going to a disco on a regular basis. Now, I am actually wearing the Prime shade. I'm not wearing any of the others, which is quite a nice rusty coloured shade, but I'm not mad for it. It's okay. It looks quite nice, but I do have other palettes with similar shades. There's not a massive amount of fallout, which is good, but I'm just not wowed by the colours really. I suppose I just thought I'd give it a go because it's Charlotte. I do love her. And because I was in Sephora, I was just tempted to get a palette. So let me swatch them for you. This is the Prime. This is just the Pop, I suppose. That is the Smoke. And this one is the Super Pop. Actually, they do look rather nice on my arm. In fact, I think they probably look nicer on my arm than they would on my lids. Maybe I ought to give the more glittery colours a go. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should. So that's the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk of Dreams eyeshadow palette. Now I picked up a little mini from NARS, and it's this little bronzer and blusher. I'll just swatch them for you. I'm not madly keen on them and I haven't used them all that much. Let me just see if I can show you. The colours are not massively pigmented, but that's Laguna. I can't honestly remember off the top of my head what the colour of the blusher is, but as you can see, there's not a lot of pigment in that, is there really? So a little bit disappointed with that. Not really sure whether I'm going to carry on using that. Might be okay for travelling on holiday for a short period, but otherwise not very impressed with that one. Now another couple of products which I have talked about in other videos, so I won't go into too much detail about them, are the Lash Clash YSL Mascara and the Huda Beauty Bomb Brows, which is this one. I'll just quickly show you. I absolutely love this Lash Clash Mascara. It's got a classic sort of Christmas tree brush, I suppose you could say. It's not rubbery or anything, but it just gives my lashes the most amazing effect, I think. Black, curled and nice and thick, and I absolutely love them. I only have one coat on today and I really love this mascara. And the Bomb Brows sort of eyebrow gel thing, it's okay. It doesn't really do anything terribly exciting to my brows. I don't think it's any different from the L'Oreal, which I've talked about recently in my empties. I've got it on today. It's okay. I'm quite happy with my brows at the moment, and I tend not to want to make them too dark because I think it looks quite aging, so I have to be a little bit careful what I use on my brows. But anyway, it's okay. I wouldn't go mad and spend a lot of money on it. I don't think you need to, but it does the job. Now let's talk about these Armani eye tints. Yes, I finally decided to go and get some liquid eyeshadows. Again, it's because I was in Sephora. I was kind of seduced by my environment, if you know what I mean. Spend this money, buy these beautiful products. But I just thought, let's give these eye tints a go because they looked rather fab. And I do like them, and I have actually used them rather a lot. Now, before I swatch them, let me just show you how amazing is this flat doe foot applicator. It makes it so easy to apply. Now let me just apply a bit. So this is, I'll tell you what the colours are in a minute. That's the darker of the two shades that I bought. I'm just trying to do the top up with one hand, which is not very easy. Right, let me show you the other one. This is the sort of lighter colour again. A nice flat doe foot applicator, and those are the two colours that I bought. Now, they are lovely colours. In fact, I have used up rather a lot of them, I think because I wore them a lot on holiday and in the summer because the shades are lovely and light. I mean, I don't know whether I like the pigments all that much because once they're on, they set very, very quickly, which is great, particularly if you've got slightly oily eyelids. But you can't be that adventurous with them, or at least I haven't found that you can. So not that I am that adventurous with eye palettes, but you know what I mean? You can't sort of do a little bit of a, you know, a line here, or you can put them under your eyes, and I have done that with the darker shade of these, but you just can't be as adventurous. So I think for a one and done, I think that's what I'm trying to say in my very inarticulate way. I think as a one and done, they're lovely, particularly in the summer. But whether I would say they're a necessary purchase for a woman over 60, don't know. It depends whether you like liquid eyeshadows. But they are lovely products. They're not cheap, of course. They're Armani. They're not fragranced, which is great. And I've checked all the products that I've talked about today are not fragranced because I can't wear fragranced makeup. But they are lovely products. And if you fancy treating yourself to an Armani product, why not? Now we come to some lip products. And the first one is this NARS pencil, which is called Sex Machine. Oh, it would be, wouldn't it? Anyway, it's a very nice pencil. Sorry, it's a little bit blunt, but let me just show you the colour. It's amazingly waxy, which is fantastic. So as soon as you put it on, it's not at all drying, even though it's a pencil. And I really love it. And I have used it, although to be honest, I often forget that I've got it. I need to leave it somewhere more prominent so that I remember to use it. But it's a lovely, lovely shade, nice and pinky, really suits me, unfragranced. And that leads me to my final lipstick, which unfortunately is fragranced. Now, I got this free, this beautiful little case, YSL red lipstick, gorgeous, gorgeous colour. Look at that. And let me swatch a bit for you. But this one, and look at that, it's a fantastic colour, but it's fragrance, so I can't wear it. Now, the final two products I'm going to quickly mention in my Sephora haul are two brushes that I bought. Actually, I bought about 3 or 4 other brushes, but I'm just going to talk about these because these are the ones I use all the time. Absolutely love this blusher brush, this one here. You can see it's got a lovely angled brush, which is ideal for blusher and bronzer, and I use it every day, and it's great for me because I'm so cack-handed. In the past I didn't have angled brushes, I just had a round-headed brush, and I would kind of put on the blusher and it would go all over the show and droop down here, which of course we don't want on our mature skins because we don't want to drag anything down, whereas this gives you a much more precise application, but it's beautifully soft. It's incredibly soft and lovely. It's what I used to apply my blush today. And my other favourite brush, which I also bought at Sephora, is this Kabuki brush, which is a great one for blending. And again, very, very soft and feels absolutely gorgeous on the skin. So really, really love their brushes. Nearly forgot to mention the little mini that I bought from Makeup Forever, their HD setting powder, which is okay. I don't love it. It's this one here. I picked it up while I was waiting in the queue because that's where they have their minis. While I was waiting in the queue to pay, it's all right. I've got it on under my eyes today. It's all right. It's not as good as my Charlotte Airbrush Flawless Filter Powder, which I like. No, Airbrush Flawless Finish, sorry. It's not as good as that, but it's okay, and the colour's quite nice, but I don't love it, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Now, just before I finish, I've got a couple of products to mention that I didn't get at Sephora, but I got at E. Leclerc, this very big department store-y kind of place, but it's more like a supermarket because it sells everything, including makeup. It sells food and all sorts of other fab stuff. Now, unfortunately, I can't wear these blooming things because when I got them home, I found that they had fragrance in them. They are two beautiful L'Oreal Paris cream shadows. They're kind of creamy, oily. So in a way, they're not that dissimilar to the Armani's. These are they. And let me just quickly swatch them for you. As I say, all the details of the products will be down below in the description box. And I just thought these colours were so beautiful. And look at them, they are absolutely stunning colours, but sadly I can't wear them because they have fragrance in them. Why does an eyeshadow have fragrance in? I don't know. So those are they. And then the other product that for some weird reason has fragrance in it, although I'm sure I wouldn't be wearing it anyway, is this L'Oreal Infaillible or Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation to powder. Now, to be honest, a foundation to powder is probably not great for mature skins, but I hadn't quite spotted the powder part of the foundation. I don't think I had my glasses on when I went to the supermarket, but I thought, oh, maybe it's a kind of like cream to powder or powder to cream. I don't know what it was. Anyway, I'll just show you the colour. It's actually too pale for me, this one. This is called, oh, I'll put the details down below. L'Oreal aren't very good at giving you their colours, are they? But it's that one there, and you can see it is actually very light, so I don't really know why I bought it. But in any event, it's got fragrance in it, so I can't use it. So there you have it. That is my Sephora haul, and a little bit extra as well. I really hope this has been useful to you. I know the Sephora haul's been a long time coming. For those of you who watch my channel regularly, I'm sure I've mentioned I was going to be doing a Sephora haul, but we finally got there and I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you have, and I hope you'll consider subscribing if you're new and hitting the notification bell, and of course leaving me a comment below. Let me know, have you tried any of these products and what did you think of them? And thanks again so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really, really does. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye.